So now let's talk about one of the more advanced topics within Drupal views, and that's the contextual filter system. We're going to talk a little bit about what contextual filters are and how exactly they work. Then we're going to set one up on our own, and we're going to actually see it in action to get a better understanding of how they really work. So let's talk a little bit about contextual filters. The first thing we're going to do is navigate back to the edit page of our view. Underneath the Advanced tab, we'll see that we have an option for contextual filters. Now, what is a contextual filter? Contextual filtering allows us to filter down our content by the URL of the page that we're on, or by some other content that's on our particular page. For example, what we want to do here is create a block that shows the last 5 articles, excluding the current article that we're reading, because we really don't want to link to the article that we're already on. So in order to do this, we're going to come up here to the Add button, and we're going to add a block. Once that's finished, you can see that we now have a block view and a page view in this particular container. There's a couple of things that we need to change. First of all, we don't really need a pager for the last 5 articles. So what we're going to do is click Mini. Now, one of the things that I forget to do all the time, and you may find that you do as well, is forget to change this For option here. Because we don't want to change the pager on our page, we just want it for this block. So we need to select this block override, otherwise it will do it to all of the views in this particular view. We're going to display a specified number of items, and the number of items we want to specify is 5. And we'll apply that. Now if we scroll down here, we can see we have way too much information. All we want are just links to the last 5 articles. So we can quickly get rid of the stuff we don't need by coming up here to Rearrange. Again, selecting this block override and removing everything we don't need. And just leaving the title. And we'll apply that. Now we can see that we have a list of the top 5. Now we only have 3 because there's only 3 articles on our site. Let's go ahead and save this and place this block. To place this block, we need to come up to Structure, Block Layout. We are going to put ours in the sidebar second, so let's place a block. From here, we can find the view that we're looking for. And that view is the news view. So let's place that block. And we're going to limit it down to just the article content type. And we're going to save that. And now it's been placed. Let's save our blocks list. And we'll return back to our site. If we go into one of the news articles, we can see that here is our news block with our top 3 most recent news. However, we can also see that the Drupal development is actually showing up in the list, and that link is only going to keep looping us back into this same page. So let's make sure that that one doesn't show up when we're on this page. Let's go in and edit the view. From the Views Edit page, we're going to select Advanced. Now this is going to drop down several other options that we'll discuss a little bit more in depth as we progress through this course. However, what we're concerned with now is the contextual filter. So let's click the Add button. What we want from this list is the ID, and we want to make sure that we select Content ID and not the Revision ID. And then we also want to make sure that we select this block override, and we're going to apply. This is going to bring up a page for the contextual filters configuration settings. Now, in order to do what we want to do, we need to provide this with a default value when the filter is not available. So let's select Provide a Default Value. And we're going to change this from fixed to the content ID from the URL. Now, to do what we want to do and exclude the particular page that we're on from our view, we need to scroll down and expand the More section. And at the very bottom, we'll see that we have a button for Exclude. So we're going to click that and apply this to this display. We're then going to save our view. Now, when we get back to our page, we'll see that we have our same recent news feed. However, the current page that we're on isn't available in this list. And if we go to, say, the next big thing, Drupal development finds its way back into the list, and the next big thing is gone. So let's take a minute here and understand what's happening. When we come to this page, our view, and let's edit our view so we can see this together. When we get to our view, it's saying that we want to show fields that are published from the article content type. And that is exactly what our view is doing. However, we're filtering down one more level using our contextual filter, and we're saying we also want the node whose ID is equivalent to the content ID from our URL, and we want to exclude that from this display. So when we get to the page here, Drupal is actually looking up here and it's saying, okay, we're filtering down the articles, we're showing their titles, and they're published, but we also want to check out node 1 here. And node 1 happens to be the next big thing. And then we're saying, oh, we're supposed to exclude that from this display. And then if we head over to Drupal development, we can see that it's now saying, oh, node 3 is the node that we're supposed to exclude. So contextual filters allow us to dynamically display, show, hide, and do some other really interesting filtering based on the ID of the page that we're currently on. Now that's just a brief overview of how contextual filtering works, and as you progress through your Drupal development, you will find yourself using them more and more for different situations. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to send data out of our website using Drupal 8's REST First initiative.